Hello and welcome to Allegedly Astrology. Each week we break down the astrology that happened during some of the biggest scandals and events in history.
Thanks so much to everyone for listening to our show. And if you want to support us, you can leave us a 5-star review and subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on.
And if you do leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and DM us a screenshot of your review, we'll make you a custom meme of your big three and send you a quick write-up about it.
We also have a very cool and exclusive Patreon. So if you want more awesome astrology content, join us at patreon.com/allegedlyastrology.
And make sure to follow us. We're Allegedly Astrology on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and Allegedly Astro on Twitter. And you could also visit our website, allegedlyastrology.com, to learn about us and the show and book a reading with Dana.
I'm Dana.
That's Dana. So with that, what are we talking about today?
Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet's relationship. Part deux.
Part deux. That's two for those of you that don't know French. But yes, in part one, we took you through Timmy and Kylie's relationship timeline and their individual charts. And in this episode, we're going to get into their synastry chart, their Davison chart, and of course, predictions. So if you don't know what a Davison chart is, stay tuned. You'll learn so much from us. So let's get into it.
It makes me laugh, like just calling him Timmy. Every time you say it,
but
makes me smile.
You're saying Timothée.
Yeah, you know I'm not going to pronounce it like that. So. So to recap, Kylie Jenner is a Leo sun, Scorpio moon, and a Cap rising. And our boy Timmy is a Capricorn sun, Pisces moon, and Virgo rising.
Yes. And we learned a lot about them individually in part one. What I was surprised to see Kylie's Capricorn rising as a fellow Cap rising myself. But I think it makes sense. And we've gone over Timothée's chart enough. So
you don't identify with Kylie?
I don't. I can't say that I do.
I feel like you're kind of businessy and you also have like family connections.
That's true, I guess. That's something Kylie Jenner and I have in common.
Dark hair. Raven-haired goddesses.
Well, I feel like especially when we were younger, you were very much like, this is how we get into places. Like, we pay the doorman $20 to let us in. You're very like, let's get it done.
Let's get it done. I mean,
we were like blacking out and eating cigarettes.
Now I've just been beat down by society and I just had no will to care anymore. But here we are. Here we are. Okay, so Dana, what does Kylie and Timmy's synastry look like?
Okay, so...
And will you tell us how you do a synastry chart?
Sure. A synastry chart is when, I mean, it's a bi-wheel. So there's one person's chart's in the middle and the other person's chart is on the outside. And what we look at as astrologers is planets making aspects to planets in each other's charts and then what planets are in each other's houses. All of this matters. So looking at this, Kylie's Mars in Libra is squaring Timothée's Capricorn sun, which could create tension and also chemistry. It's like fireworks. It's cardinal energy. So it's definitely, finding that spark. Timothée's Capricorn stellium is in Kylie's first house, and this includes his sun, which is conjunct her ascendant. So he's like the lights on her Christmas tree, and she embodies his ideals, which is pretty cute.
The lights on the Christmas tree. Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that cute?
Does she like Christmas? I guess she does.
I mean,
maybe. I don't know.
That's right when the sun is crossing her ascendant.
True.
Plus, both of them have Mercury in each other's first house, and their Mercuries are both an earth sign. So their Mercuries trine each other. Whenever planets are in the same
communication.
Element, trine. Yeah. And in natal astrology, Mercury favors the first house because it enables one to perceive and connect with the world around them. So with their Mercuries in the same element and in each other's first houses, they're able to really enjoy and make the most of this connection. And they just speak each other's language, or they speak the same language. Well, they speak different dialects of Earth, but same language. And then Timothée's North Node is conjunct Kylie's Mars and Midheaven in Libra, which is really empowering for her. And also, it's interesting because is this making her even more famous? I don't know. So the North Node is an eclipse point that adds gravity to whatever it touches and pulls people together. With his North Node on her midheaven, the point of publicity and career, their relationship is public and may alter her career or how the public views her.
I mean, if you think about it, the prestige that Timmy can offer her of like Oscars and Golden Globes. She used to go to all the after parties and stuff. And of course, she would go to the Met Gala. But I don't know. I feel like maybe people would come to respect her more than just a Kardashian.
Sort of classic New York, like, society theater.
Yes.
Authenticity versus LA plastic reality TV type thing. Like, it's just what it is.
So maybe it is perceiving how the public views her.
Totally. I mean, and other things too, right? But culturally, I feel like that was probably the first thing that confused people. Like, it makes sense when he's with other Nepo babies, like, who were the other one? I mean, definitely him
Lily
and
Rose Depp.
They can speak French together. You know,
Right.
like, they're both actors and she's from an actor family.
Right.
Her dad is a lunatic. I don't know. Her mom's like a hot model musician. They also have dual activation with each other's south nodes and Saturn. So Timothy's south node is conjunct Kylie's Saturn and IC in Aries, and Kylie's south node is in Pisces, conjunct Timothy's Saturn and Moon. So the south node is opposite the north node. It's an axis. And it also adds gravity. In synastry, it can reflect an uncanny familiarity. Some people might call this knowing each other from a past life. And then Saturn's the planet of commitment and discipline. So this relationship will be hard to quit. Timothy's Venus in Aquarius is conjunct Kylie's Uranus and Jupiter, and Venus and Jupiter are the benefic planets. So they give, they endow, and when people have benefic conjunctions in synastry, it feels really good to be around each other. There's a desire to give affection to each other and to give to each other. It's, you know, sharing is caring. And then Uranus is lightning. So it can make for whirlwind romances, especially the one and done, quick, really over romances. Like if someone just has Uranus aspects, or like maybe someone's having like a really insane Uranus transit. But with this Uranus aspect, they also have Saturn aspects holding down the fort and nodal aspects. So Uranus can make things abrupt, but also maybe like eternally exciting. So, and being with Kylie is just like thrilling for Timothy.
Yeah, the nodal stuff is very interesting. I've been very into like nodal synastry, and I feel like whenever something's on the south node, like Dana was saying, people say you knew each other in some capacity in your past lives. And then for the north node, it's Kylie is like helping Timmy. She's either going to give him a lesson or help him reach his like path in this life.
Nirvana. She's his goddess. I'm being so creepy. I've like never said the word goddess. My goddess.
So when it comes to this relationship, there was, especially in the beginning, a lot of like, are they, aren't they? Are they committed? Are they just hanging out? Did they just break up, even though they kind of weren't dating? But that all changed when they made their first public debut at the Beyonce Renaissance concert. And they made out there very publicly. Timothy was just chain smoking cigs, which I respect these days, especially
I've heard a lot of people calling it cigarette summer. But I think this is a good time to let people know that we just covered Beyonce's confirmed birth chart on our Patreon. So if you want to find out more about what her actual birth chart says, you should go subscribe.
Sign up.
Yeah.
See if it matters.
See if it matters.
There's
only one way to know. So this concert was on September 4th, 2023 in Inglewood, California. And the sun is in Virgo, the moon's in Taurus. So also the sun is conjunct Mercury retrograde and trine the moon and Jupiter. With the sun and the moon, both in earth signs, it's very sensual. Sun in Taurus wants to serve, wants to help others, and sun in Virgo wants to help others. Moon in Taurus wants to help itself and, kiss each other. And the sun conjunct Mercury retrograde, there's like, it's reviving this relationship rumor. And it's something like you can confirm it with your eyes, even though nothing's really said, which is very earth, right? It's a tangible reality.
At this point, the rumors had been going on for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So this was the full-blown confirmation.
Yeah. And sun, trine, moon, and Jupiter just like feels really good, especially when the moon and Jupiter are in Taurus. It's like, it's just so Lana, or I guess Beyonce. And this is major. One day after Venus station direct in Leo. So this is love moving forward. And this was also really a big summer for celebrity breakups, but this also just relates to celebrity love lives. So now we get like a celebrity relationship after all these graveyard of breakups. We have one that's moving forward and one that's also surprising for people. So looking at this around Kylie's chart, once again, she's a Leo sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Capricorn rising. So she was in a third house, Pisces, Jupiter year. And transiting Jupiter was in Taurus in her natal fifth house of romance.
Cute.
Dating. Yeah. And Venus was applying to make its third and final conjunction to her natal sun in her eighth house of intimacy. So any reservation she might have had, I mean, about that specific relationship with her and Timothy, and also maybe closing the Travis chapter of her life, that sort of was solved during that time. And this is also her like exact Mercury return, but it's a Mercury retrograde. So she also at this time had 3 Mercury returns the same summer that Venus transited her sun 3 times. So Mercury return is her making headlines and staying in the news. And then she had her Mars return in Libra. So this is hot and heavy. Mars is the planet of pursuit and sex and just like the really exciting adrenaline. And Mars in Libra is pursuing a relationship. And then Pluto is conjunct her natal first house Neptune. So this is a new layer of fame. Neptune has so much to do with fame, especially in the first house. Marilyn Monroe famously had Neptune in the first house. Hers was in Leo, which makes even more sense. But for Kylie, this is just like, she's power, just a really, truly a new level of fame for already a super famous person. It's a new kind of fame, right? It's like, I guess, seeing a new color in a spectrum you're already familiar with. And then the South Node was conjunct her natal midheaven and Mars. So there's backlash from Timothy heads. I remember Club Chalamet. I don't know if you guys we've talked about Club Chalamet.
Oh my God.
It's so weird.
I forgot about
unnatural. Her obsession with Timothée, and it's really jarring how much she hates. Did he end up doing it like a cease and desist?
He had a, what's it called? A restraining order, but it was revoked.
Oh, sad.
Yeah,
she's like a 58-year-old woman.
For her, but it didn't really stop her. She never addressed it, and she like stays hating on Kylie. And so then we look at the transits on this day for Timothy, and he again has a Capricorn sun, a Pisces moon, and a Virgo rising. And he was in a fourth house Sagittarius Jupiter year. His natal Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius. So this is a feel-good year for him. The fourth house year is really tough, being 27, but for him, I don't know. I mean, that natal Jupiter there really makes it, party boy time. Transiting Jupiter in Taurus was in his natal ninth house, where he has his natal midheaven, which is once again the point of publicity. So Jupiter in Taurus is super romantic, and this is him going public and getting publicity for a new relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And also with someone who's known for their beauty, which is very Taurus, and their wealth. She's known for all those things. And then Saturn is conjunct his natal descendant exactly to the degree, to the minute. Can you guys look at that?
Wow.
Can you believe it?
It is conjunct. Exactly.
So this is make it or break it in love. Saturn transiting the descendant can make it for really tough for relationships, but he also has Neptune transiting his seventh house, which is conjunct his natal moon, which is really softening everything. So this is totally smitten, and I think he's totally, we'll look at his current astrology later, but I feel like this could be a forever, or at least a long time. Love you long time.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever.
Forever.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Pluto was transiting his natal fifth house of romance, and it's conjunct his natal Capricorn Uranus. So this is a surprise regarding dating and sex life. And also it was almost his exact nodal opposition. So this is when the nodal opposition is when you get knocked onto a new path. It's oftentimes when life, you get your ass handed to you by life, or you die. You're a rock star. And that's not what happened to him, thank God. But with the North Node transiting his natal eighth house, I just think he probably didn't expect intimacy to slap him in the face so hard, but it did.
Yeah.
It did. Slapped him right in the face with those lip fillers. He got smacked in the face.
I really just hurt my hand.
Yeah, Dana just slapped herself.
No, I didn't. I did.
You high-fived yourself.
I slapped my own hand. I didn't slap my own face.
Yes. That's what I meant.
I just put moisturizer on her.
So I'm still like, wow, I can't believe this is a potential thing. But anyway, so they go to all these high-profile events, and they're very PDA. And Timmy even speaks about Kylie in a GQ article. He says that he wishes to lead a private life while continuing to have a career in Hollywood and date one of the most famous women on the planet. And in true Capricorn stellium fashion, follows it up with, sometimes people are going to be hella confused when you say you're trying to live a private life.
Well, I was like, hella.
And that person is Simone from Club Chalamet. But he added that despite his fame, he works hard to protect his humanity and stay grounded.
Then, about after a year of hanging out and appearing in public together, Kylie officially refers to Timmy as her boyfriend, which means it's time to take a look at their Davison chart.
Davison time. Okay. So for those who don't know, a Davison chart is a way of combining two charts. So I don't know if I'm explaining this right, Dana, but it basically makes a third chart that describes a particular relationship dynamic. And this chart has an actual birth date and time and location, right?
So it takes the midpoint of the birth dates and locations and times, and then that's it. So, the latitude and longitude, and then the middle of their birthdays and times.
So basically, the synastry is overlapping their two natal charts together. But the Davison is a completely new chart. So Dana, tell us, what is their Davison chart like? It's the chart of the couple.
Yeah, so theirs is October 19th, 1996 at 1:20 a.m. And it has a Libra sun, a Capricorn moon, and a Gemini rising.
Fascinating.
Right. So the sun in Libra and moon in Capricorn both really want to make the relationship work, but at what cost? I mean, these are both debilitated planets. That's why I say that. So the sun in Libra can sacrifice self, and the moon in Capricorn can sacrifice emotion. So those are the costs. Like, you have to make sure that nothing is swept under the rug with these sorts of placements, right? But also, I mean, Libra's a sign of relationships. So the sun in the 5th house, this is leisure, romance, children. If they have kids together, they would definitely succeed in co-parenting no matter what. The sun is ruled by Venus, which is also in fall in Virgo. And this is a selfless placement that must maintain balance, like lest resentment build. So in our latest horoscope episode that we recorded for our Patreon, which is patreon.com/allegedly astrology, we were talking about what are the remedies for making sure resentment doesn't build in a relationship. So check that out if you want. But yeah, so they can also potentially be critical of each other. That's another sometimes pitfall of Venus in Virgo, and maybe critical of the relationship. But what I love about this is that her Mars is in Libra and her Venus is in Virgo, and he's a Virgo rising. Their charts show that they have the tools to manage this relationship. They both have Capricorn placements for that Capricorn moon. So the parts in this chart that are tough, like, they really know how to make it work. It's compatible with their own individual charts too, which is great. So they have the tools to manage it for as long as the relationship lasts. And manage is a really key term, especially with a Libra sun and a Capricorn moon. And then Pluto is conjunct the descendant in Sagittarius. So this is intense. It's fun. It's like both possessive and freedom oriented. It's sort of like, I mean, maybe there could be power games, but it could just feel like you can really give someone a long leash, but like there's still a leash, the cord is there. Also, their Davison chart is during eclipse season. It's 6 days after a solar eclipse in Libra, which is significant because the first time, like you said earlier, that those rumors came out was April 13th, 2023. So I looked at those transits to the Davison chart. The sun was in Aries, the moon was in Capricorn. So it was the solar opposition for the Davison chart. It's also the lunar return for the Davison chart, which is a likely time to get together. And they were spotted 1 week before a solar eclipse in Aries opposite the Davison sun, with the solar eclipse ushering in sudden beginnings in their 11th house of audience. Fascinating. The sun was exalted in Aries opposite their Davison sun. So this is a huge spotlight, and it's a spotlight on the sun in Libra. So it can feel maybe uncomfortable, but they're in it together. And then the lunar return in their 8th house of the Davison chart really solidifies this joint endeavor. So discussions were had, like, we're in public right now, we know it, but like, we want to make out, so we just have to live our lives. Like, we're in our 20s, We're friends of Beyonce. Venus was in Gemini, conjunct the Davison rising, very significant. Venus is a planet of love. The Davison rising, the rising of any chart is a point of beginnings. And also, they were spotted 1 week before a solar eclipse. So it's really fascinating that the Davison chart is around eclipse season. And so was their initial rumor day. We'll call it their rumor day.
Rumor day. So since then, They've been supporting each other at each other's events, going to the Oscars, going to Coachella. People said they're super serious about each other and that Kylie is very supportive of Timmy and his career.
Yeah, I mean, Dana, the start of that Davison chart wasn't looking promising, but then you just kept saying, but then, and everything just kept getting better. So we're going to move on to our favorite part of every episode, which is predictions. So this is where we ask Dana what she thinks is going to happen in the future for these two. Do we think this relationship has legs? Is this more of a Saturn return era partner in crime sitch? Like, we think this is going to stay? Like, what's going to happen?
Okay, so first up, we're looking at Timothy's 2024 solar return, which happened in December. He's 29 years old. So he's in a 6th house Aquarius Saturn year, a famously tough year, especially one during your Saturn return. But his natal Venus is in Aquarius. So this year's oriented towards love and romance. And he's in a Saturn return. So again, it's really unlocking that Saturn or the Saturn ruled Aquarius Venus. Previous, reservations he had in love or romance and fashion. So his natal Saturn's in Pisces in 7th house. This is, again, commitment minded, also signing contracts, I bet, especially after being nominated for so many awards. It's also very significant that this is during his Saturn return, and Saturn rules his natal Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, and they're all reaching maturity at the Saturn return. So his progressed descendant and transiting Neptune are conjunct his natal moon in Pisces in his 7th house of commitment, committed relationships. Neptune transiting the 7th house is like Vaseline on a camera lens, which was the original filter. Or in cartoons when the hearts would pop out of the eyes, it'd be like awooga. So it can make things blurry in relationships, but Saturn cleanses glossy filters and provides reality. So it's so interesting to have both of these going on at the same time. And I feel like it enables him. I mean, it could be swinging between two extremes, but I bet it's more of a balance. With his moon here, he's more compromised, but the softening, of course, isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially for an actor, someone who could now reach a new emotion. I'm assuming everything's an experience that, will help in some way for his art. And his progressed Jupiter is in Capricorn, conjunct his natal Sun in his 5th house of romance. Jupiter rules his Pisces 7th house, and the Sun illuminates and spotlights. So this can clarify relationship goals for him. Also, maybe thinking about children. Interesting. I hadn't, right?
Well, also, he kind of is like a
child,
dad-ish person. She has 2 kids.
Can you?
So he would be
such a fun
thinking
dad
about children because he's got 2 toddlers around him.
That's so interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. I feel like the Kardashians are pretty locked in on not having multiple baby daddies, but who knows?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, I guess Courtney did it. But I feel like Khloe has said she wouldn't do it, and Kim too.
She's a Cancer, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And Kim already has 4.
Yeah, Kim has so many children.
With the craziest man alive. In a contender for. We have a lot these days, but he's in that pageant.
He's in that pageant.
The North Node transiting Timothy's 7th house, and the eclipses on his 1st and 7th house axis in Virgo and Pisces are through 2027. So big things are happening in his relationships through this time. You can count on it. Right. Then just peeking at his 2025 solar return, which is, in 7 or 8 months. So he'll be starting a 7th house Pisces Jupiter year. His natal Jupiter is domicile in Sagittarius. His natal Pisces placements are Saturn and his moon. It's a 7th house. It's the year of romance, love, commitment. Also, it could be breaking up. So if he doesn't break up next year, I mean, I guess he could maybe break up during his Aries year because Saturn will be there, and that would be maybe a breakup. So now we're really getting ahead. But think about that. I've said it now. But Jupiter's blessings and multiplication, and Saturn is commitment, and the moon is sentiment. So again, another big year for relationships. One where I think his current relationship just keeps expanding. And especially with his North Node and Saturn transiting his perfected house in his solar return in Pisces, I think that this is significant year. So yeah, we can expect more relationships from him. I'm going to skip the Davison for now. Kylie's 2024 solar return. She is in a 4th house, Aries Mars year. Her natal Mars is in Libra, conjunct her midheaven. So it's a year of public power moves and scrutiny, again, because Mars is in detriment in Libra. So she's having to balance scrutiny, but she's doing a really good job, like sitting behind, letting his mom sit next to him during the best Oscar announcement or the best actor announcement at the Oscars. You know, she's not, it's not her ego that's running the ship, which is Libra. Libra's all about balance. And her natal Saturn is in Aries. So it's also activated since she's in that Aries year. So this is tough. She'll also be beginning her Saturn return, which also, I mean, tough, but I mean, hope, because I like her now. I feel like it could just be really changing her. Saturn's her chart ruler, so it will really affect how she sees herself and a really nice coming into herself. And then she'll be in a Venus year when she's 28, so that's cool. The North Node is in Aries in her August 20 or in her 2024 solar return. And so when the North Node is transiting your perfected sign, it means it's a significant year. She's in her progressed lunar return in Scorpio. So this is growing up. And as of January 11th, 2025, she's in her nodal opposition, which Timothée was in when they were spotted at the Beyonce concert. So then looking at her 2025 solar return, which is coming up at the end of the summer on August 10th, she'll be in her 5th house, Taurus, Venus year. So this is romantic. Uranus will no longer be in Taurus. It'll be in Gemini. So she has like less shocking influence. And her solar return ascendant is in Libra, which is relationship oriented. So her solar return is ruled by Venus, and she has a Venus Jupiter conjunction in Cancer in her solar return chart, and it's conjunct her natal descendant. So this is lovely. This is so sweet. And then her nodal opposition is very tight. And I just think that both of them have such significant romantic, I mean, like they both have tough things coming up with Kylie, especially with her Saturn return, but Timothée being so Saturnian would be like the perfect, shepherd for.
Yeah, you already know.
You already know.
You're already under the thumb of Saturn.
Yeah, you would know. So then looking at their Davison for 2024, they're in a 5th house Libra Venus year. So lovely. Their solar return Venus is conjunct their natal descendant and Pluto. We love to see that. I mean, for a romance and a relationship, that's excellent. The ascendant is in Aquarius, conjunct the midheaven. So this is continuing to carry on a public relationship, and it's the nodal opposition. So it's fated events happening like left and right. It's very Hall of Mirrors, but it can be, maybe it's like I'm projecting this fan fiction onto them where they are Danny and Sandy at the end of Grease. That's it. That's what's happening for them in this Davison solar return.
Wow.
And then looking at their 2025 solar return, they'll be entering a 6th house Scorpio Mars year. This is a little tougher, but luckily Mars in their solar return chart is in Scorpio, and Mars rejoices in the 6th house. It's in their natal 6th house and their solar return 6th house. That's good. So this is strong. It's keeping momentum and keeping the ship afloat. And Mars is at home in Scorpio, so that's strong too. And it's conjunct Mercury. So this could be, fighting. I don't know. We wouldn't really see it though if it is. Also, their solar return ascendant is in Gemini. And whenever your solar return angles hit your natal angles, that's a year where your natal promise like comes more to fruition. So your natal chart really comes out. And then Venus is in Libra at home also, conjunct their natal North Node in the 5th house, which is really sweet and romantic and also could be very fertile. And then Pluto is conjunct Uranus. So this is pretty interesting. So Pluto in Aquarius is conjunct their Davison Uranus, and then Uranus in Gemini is conjunct their Davison ascendant. So I don't know. I mean, it could be, since with outer planets, it could be like embedding them in culture. Also, the South Node is transiting their Davison Venus, which could be good or it could be tough. And Neptune is conjunct their Davison Saturn. So they have like a lot of wild transits. So from October 2025 to October 2026, they could be like really big in culture. That could be what the outer placements mean. Or it could be a year where a lot of things happen, good or bad. We'll really have to wait and see. We're a long way out.
So it seems like everything's pointing positive, but they've got a big test coming up.
Yeah, I like that. Well
so
put.
We'll see if it's something that they can endure. That's what relationships are, right? A constant test of endurance. Anyway, that concludes part 2 of our 2-part Timmy and Kylie series. We'll see you guys next month for more astro gossip. Thanks again for listening. I'm Elise.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Allegedly Astrology.
Bye.
Au revoir. À tout à l'heure. À bientôt. Timothée.